Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I've been enjoying myself out here, continuing to work on this boat. So what I did today is I built a brand new wiring harness for it. And this is where it'll connect up in the boat right here. And I've got each one ready with an end crimped on with a heat shrink sleeve sitting there ready to put onto it. If some of you didn't know any better, you'd think it was the original harness. I'm very proud of myself on it, that I've got it all nice and neat and tucked away. Do see a couple little things I could do. I need to wrap some more tape on that right there so it don't separate. But I've got that all in order and properly color coded to the factory scheme on it. The other thing I did today is put new cap, rotor, and wires on here. And got that all together. It's got brand new spark plugs in it already. So that's where we're at, and I'm just waiting for my friends to come from Vancouver, and they're going to bring that bell housing with them, and that will be the missing link as to what I need to drop this motor in there and it be ready to fire up and roll. And up inside the engine bay in here, down in the bilge and all, I've been working too, doing some follow-up cleaning, tidying up the factory harness there even more. And of course, this boat is a 96 model. Through the years, people have ran stuff and done stuff, and even myself, I upgraded the trim tabs from the hydraulic ones to these electric Bennett trim tabs right here. And so the old hydraulic lines were still running back there and just in the way and didn't need them. So I removed those, and then the same little loops, I put the wiring pigtails for these electric ones in those same loops. Got that all tidied up. Just going through, just making sure everything, I guess what's that saying, ship shape, you know, making sure it's all ship shape. I ran into a problem changing this fuel pump on these small block Chevys. This little hole right here usually has a short little bolt in it that plugs it, and you take that short bolt out and you put a longer one in there to hold the little like push rod, like plunger rod that comes off the camshaft and works the fuel pump there. And so you put a longer one in it and you just barely snug it, and it holds that rod in place while you lift this pump out and you set the other one in. Then you take that bolt back loose and you put that little short one back in there. The short one was missing and the hole was all rusty, so I decided to run a tap in it, and the tap was running there real smooth, but I didn't have a tool to get down in there that deep because it's a ways down in there. So I used the little end of my Ryobi drill, and I was running it in and out real soft, and it just bumped down too far one time and snapped the bit, snapped the tap right off in the dang hole, which leaves it 1, 2, 3, 4 little gaps right there. And so I don't have anything to extract it with, so I got thinking of these little bits right here, you know, for you put in a drill, whatever, and you take little Phillips or Torx and things and put in it. I decided to take one of those. At first I grabbed this one, but I realized it was aluminum, so that don't work. So I took this one here that was steel, and took a grinder and cut it into 4 blades. I have the broken tap right here. This is what broke off, and it lines right up down into it, see? So if I can put that down in that hole the same way and just give it a little bump, it should come out there, is what I'm hoping. Look at that, boy. I popped it right out of there. Homemade tool work, man. That's pretty cool. Well, I'm still working down in here on the bilge on the boat. I'll show you a little bit what I've been doing here. This bilge pump, there's like a piece of wood that's fiberglassed in from the factory right here. And it had just a drop off, and where they had wrapped the fiberglass, it kind of made like a little divot back in behind there, and a sharp little point. And this would hold trash and hold water in it right there. Just hold a lot of muck, and it was hard to clean out, and the fibers were kind of rough. Like I say, that was done from the factory. And same thing on the opposite side too, right here. So what I did, been cleaning this really good, and then I sanded all of that, and I mixed up marine epoxy and filled it, sloped it, and then sanded it again. And I need to vacuum because I've done some work in here since then. It stirred up more trash, but at the same time I worked on that, I fixed the drain hole back down in here in the back. It was misaligned ever since the boat was built new, and I got that lined up and worked out, and it drains out nice and smooth out right there now. Did a little repair right here, filled a hole here in this motor mount along by the stringer here that didn't serve any purpose. Started filling another one up right here a little bit too. Same thing over here underneath me also. There's another place I've been doing the exact same thing. And then I've been cleaning all of this in here really well. And I don't like this dark dingy gray. So what I have here that I sent from US before is marine paint. They call it yacht paint. Been mixing it up. Luckily it's still good. And I painted a little bit to make sure it cured good and that it is still good. And so what I'm going to do is get in here right now and roll on this, what they call pre-coat or primer coat on first. Well, I got started on painting it here. That's just a primer coat around there, but man, even just what I've got so far, it's looking really good. I need to get me some string or some cord or something, tie some of these wires up out of my way so I can paint. And I actually need a little area to dry that maybe then I can stand over there when I get over to the other place. It's kind of hard to paint around your feet. And I still been going and working down in the back of the boat. I still been putting primer coats in. Man, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? All the way around in there. Hey everybody, if you're enjoying the content that you're watching right now, give us a thumbs up, write a comment down below, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and help us bring those numbers up. We really appreciate it a lot. We're going to let you get back to the content now, but if you do us a solid and do that right there for us and just take a minute, we would really appreciate you. My new motor mounts come in, but I figure the rubber's probably getting hard down in them. This is the rubber part right in here, so I can feel that. It's really soft. Press it with my thumb, and this one's like a brick. Yeah. So, and look how rusty and corroded that is there. I kind of shot a little paint over that rust before, but you see that looks like ass. There we go. I got the new ones in today, and I ordered these off Amazon. Got them free shipping here in the Philippines. I think it was $49 for them. I mean, can't beat that right there. So they'll go on with brand new motor mounts, and I'll save this little stainless steel retainer and move it over to here. So got that, and 4 more days the bell housing to be here. Trevor and May, it'd be somewhere between 4 to 6 days. I don't know if they're going to stay somewhere else first. And as soon as I have that, this motor's ready to drop in. And when it is time to drop it in, I should have all this other work done. Check this out down in here. I have started painting the top coat now of what's called the Yacht Enamel. That's what it's called, Yacht Enamel. Got it all painted in all the way around back there. Oh, I left my little fan on here too, my little battery operated fan, little solar fan. The bilge pump. Well, I've got a brand new, let me grab it here. Oh my God, I can't reach. Oh, okay, there we go. I've got a brand new hose that's going on there. The old one had a split in it, and I taped it up before. I had bought new of these maybe a year ago and put them in a suitcase coming from the US. So I'll be putting those in, so we'll have new motor mounts, new lines coming from the bilge pump. Now that's a brand new bilge pump I put in, but I'm putting in a secondary pump as well, a backup pump. So one of them's going to be on the switch for me to turn on, and another one's going to be on automatic, so if water was to come in, it would just start pumping it out. And between the two pumps, if I had a pretty good leak this spring or something, hopefully I can remove a lot of volume of water out. And I like to have that redundancy, always redundancy, redundancy, redundancy. Show you something else I've got here. Try to see if I can do all this single-handedly. So here we go. Boy, that's bright. It's really throwing the light in the camera. This light right here, which I mean, it is bright. Boy, it just flushes the camera out right there. I'll turn it off now. This is a drain plug, goes in the back of the boat. This is stainless steel and has those powerful LEDs with a little magnifying glass over it. And this will go right through the transom back there. This is the plug in the rear of the boat. This will keep you from losing your plug. It'll hang by the cord if something was to happen and you forgot. And this here will light up the water all blue underneath the back of the boat. And it does have a cord here where you can unplug it, disconnect it also. It is looking very beautiful. You all tell me what you think. It looks nice and fresh and clean. So I haven't worked on the boat in the past couple of days, but I need to get back on it now. I've been letting all that paint cure down inside of it. I want to show one of the things that I'm working on here right now is this exhaust pipe, this Y pipe that comes in. Right here it has these little flaps. I'll show you right here. It has these little flaps here. And that it works like a check valve, only lets things flow one way. So if something happened and a big wave struck the back of the boat, somehow or another it pushed water up through those exhaust ports, they can't just go all the way up over the risers and into the manifolds. So that's one of the reasons you have a riser up like this too, is these connect right here with these little boots in between here, right there. And see, like right at the back of the boat where the exhaust comes out, if there was a big, like say, wave or anything hit, it has several lines of defense with these little flaps in there, and any water that tries to come up, these spread out and they seal inside of there, and no water can pass up, you know, on a large volume. And then it would still have to get up and over this riser and down in order for it to get down into the engine and get on top of the pistons through an open valve or something. You see, like this one here, only half of it's here. I found the other half down in the bottom. So I need to replace these with new ones here. The next thing I bought today was these fire extinguishers right here. This one is the Halon, and this one right here is your standard chemical fire extinguisher. It's fully charged, as you see. So got that one. Then this other one's the Halon, and we're going to talk about this for a second. So Halon's the one that takes all the oxygen out of the air. And you got to be careful about spraying these because it can make you suffocate. So here we are up here in the boat. You see this little port right here? It just goes into a hollow void back there. And that is a Halon fire extinguisher port. So what you want to do is keep the cabin door closed. Keep this engine hatch closed to try to keep the fire from being able to get oxygen, okay? And you open that port, which is small right there. And you take that Halon fire extinguisher and you spray it in there, and it sucks away all the oxygen, and it starves that fire of oxygen to burn, and thus the fire goes out. And then once you believe that it's out, you could open the engine compartment on up. Maybe from there, you know, if it's not something that's going to reignite, maybe you've got it under control. And they actually offered on this boat an automatic system that if it detected a fire, it would just automatically discharge. So there was I believe it would automatically, or you had to trigger it, but they did have a semi-automatic system. Now that little door out there, somebody's painted it over, and the finger place is not very good, and I can't get it to twist open. So in the US, I had a black one in stock there at my place because I've been hobbying with boats for years. It's the exact same size, same one, as you see right there. And I brought it with me And this one unscrews just fine, really easy. I was able to move it even with my thumb there just then. And there it is right there. Of course, what good is it going to do you if you can't get it open, right? And that one just does not want to spin good, and this one does. So I'm going to be replacing that with this black one. And I'm actually going to make up a label. I have a label maker here, and I'm actually going to label it that it's for Halon fire extinguisher. And the next thing, you see this door right here? Here in the side on this gunnel. It's pretty wide out here. It's pretty deep. You got this door here, and there is a lot of storage in that gunnel, but they only built out a little small box about the size of that door and behind there to put things in. A little wooden box with carpet on it there. Waste of space. Waste of space. And over here at the other gunnel, there's nothing. That storage space and those sides and those gunnels can just be priceless. So what I did is I did a little measuring, and I got online and I bought a hatch door to put over there on that side like there is over here on this side. Well, I just now bolted on the little cover, the little metal cover that I painted back there, and got all this bell housing on. This is the new engine coupler, and this little retainer right here is just on here temporary, and you're supposed to remove it before you actually use the boat. So what this is right here is the engine alignment and gimbal bearing alignment tool. And this is made to slide right up in there where that shaft does, all the way through the back of the boat. Solid, heavy steel. It's a heavy piece right here, and it goes in there, see? So I got this ground strap right here, and the bolt that's supposed to be on it right there in that rusty spot, and it's broke off in there. I'm gonna see if I can drill that out, and if not, even just drill right next to it. And I got another stainless steel screw here I'm gonna try to put in there. So we'll see how this works out. I think it's best. It's hard to drill that stainless steel. It's probably best if I just drill a hole next to it right down in there. And then I'll clean that up, paint it, and put the new ground strap on. Well, let me show you a little bit of what I've been doing. I changed out the steering cylinder. The other one was set up with that diesel with non-power steering, and it never had it. I was adding it on there. And this cylinder here, I got with some spare parts for this boat, including all that other unit that was for going through the transom here. They had some quick coupler stuff set up on it. Now I'm going to tell you what's the deal with that. There is there's places here in the Philippines that they run some of their boats seasonally, and they'll have a bunch of boats with inboard outboards doing like those parasails and stuff like that. And they'll have those things set up where they'll just yank those motors out of there in a heartbeat. Now store the boats without the motors and the outdrives on the back, and so they just put quick couplers there on these things, just like these lines, and all they gotta do is, you know, off with a return, off with the pressure line, and that's that. And I'm not going to leave it that way. I'm putting it back original. So I've got these loose. I'm just keeping them threaded in the holes right now to keep any trash out. And I've got the correct lines for it. I did get the ground strap all back in place there, and this one's still here and it's in good shape. Now I got this one here, and right now this is that other little door that I'm wanting to put inside the boat. I know I'm kind of getting blown out with my own shadow here, but it's going to go in right there. And where I'm removing that big lounge seat they had around the back and it bolted in, I can get rid of one of these cuts. When they put these seats in these boats and all, they'll cut a big old slot so it doesn't have to be perfect. Now just stick that stud through there and put big old flat washers on the back like fender washers and tighten it down wherever it may. So I guess they just stick a router in there and go, you know, and just whack it open. So I'm wanting to get rid of that ugly thing, and I believe I can put it right on that curve right there. That'll put the door right here, just perfect for what I want. And trying to debate which direction I want this door to hinge though. That is one of my debates. I think I might want it to hinge back. The other one on the opposite side swings in towards the boat, towards the front. But I kind of don't like that. All right, I got it drawn out right there.